Best Irish music on irishradio.org with Jerry Byrne.
Irish Radio, I'm Jerry Byrne. Now, since the onset of COVID and all the rest, I've been speaking to many of the great and the good of entertainment. Spoke to this gentleman just over a year ago at the start of lockdown. Little did we think that we'd be in somewhat a similar position over a year later. I'm delighted to say hello to the one and only Barry Doyle, aka Farmer Dan. Barry, how are you?
Hello, Jerry. How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Real pleasure. A real pleasure. We never thought that when we spoke the last time that over a year later there still wouldn't be a lot of action happening.
No, we were optimistic, but listen, sure, it is what it is, and we just have to live with it and get through it as best we can. And I think that's what everybody's trying to do, and trying to keep positive and looking forward to brighter days ahead. If they could only come maybe sooner rather than later, but
Indeed.
It's going in the right direction, thank God.
Indeed so. Now, you've got actually an interesting one in the lockdown. You've got a brand new country band ready to roll after lockdown. You've teamed up with Stephen Hamilton. I spoke to Stephen actually on the programme last year, another incredibly talented gentleman.
Yeah, that's right. Stephen's been a good friend of mine for many, many years, and I often worked on the same stage as Stephen, but never working directly with him. You know, he was always a great musician and played in various bands over the years, and a good fella behind it all as well. You know, and him and I always got on very well. And he was leaving the Michael English band, and we got chatting and decided we'd do something new and something different coming out of lockdown. So really looking forward to it. We've been doing bits and pieces, and it's sounding good, and we're looking forward to getting back at it again.
Indeed, I bet you are. You've recorded. You're actually Europe's most recorded artist. You've got 34 albums, 15 DVDs over in excess of 20 years.
That's right. Yeah. I've recorded a lot of stuff. When I go to pick an album now, I'm sort of running out of stuff. It's getting harder to find, but I've been very lucky, and it was the support of the people that were buying the CDs over the years that allowed me to do that, because I was an independent artist. I wasn't recording through a record label or anything like that. So, as the man says, in farming terms, I was paddling my own canoe. There's another term I could use for that, but not on the radio. But I was paddling my own canoe, and it was the people that was buying the stuff. The Farmer Dan material was hugely successful over the years, thank God, and it allowed me to keep recording and keep bringing out new stuff and keep myself in the marketplace as such, you know.
Indeed. So, and you toured for a total of your own 5-piece band for 12 years on the road.
That's right, yeah. 5-piece band for 12 years, and 12 great years they were, and great memories, great crack. The scene was healthy back then, and we did the Wiggle Wiggle song at that time, and with a great hit with that over here in the north of Ireland and further south. And you know, there were great times. We were playing the great crowds, and the buzz was there. I was a whole lot younger, and you know, it was a great life for a young person.
Indeed. So now you also had something else you did as well, was you had the Wiggle Wiggle Girls.
That's right, we had the Wiggle Wiggle Girls, yeah, and it was different. We called ourselves at the time the Barry Doyle Show. We weren't known as the Barry Doyle Band, and I suppose we were the first ones at that time to be carrying the flashing lights and the moving heads and the drum raisers and smoke machines and all that stuff. And the Barry Doyle Show was all about image and about entertainment and about, you know, attraction, and you know, people that the young lads over here in particular, the young lads used to come over, and they'd been coming to see the Wiggle Wiggle Girls, and then of course the young girls were coming to see the young lads, and you know, the crowds were building all the time. It was a great time, you know. It was a great song and did very, very well for me and for the band as well.
Indeed so. The Wiggle Wiggle thing really did sort of take off, and the dance to it and all the rest of it.
That's right, yeah. Well, it was something that the crowd could get involved in, and that was always something that I felt was very important. You know, it's one thing standing up on the stage and singing. It doesn't matter how good or how bad you are, but if you can connect with the audience and entertain the audience, that's what brings them out. That's what they want to see, and that's what they want to hear.
Indeed, exactly. And of course, your alter ego, the Farmer Dan, was absolutely huge, and it was incredibly popular, particularly at agricultural festivals, steam fairs, street fairs, etc.
That's great. Yeah. Well, it was another marketplace. I was very lucky because I was able to diversify between the two when the gig or the venue suited, and like the Great Dorset Steam Fair, the Balmoral Show, the Hayden Show, all them shows that we were doing over the years, the Black Eye Show and all that. They were all super events for me. From a merchandise point of view and from a gigging point of view, and you were playing to a broader audience, a wider audience, because a lot of that agricultural community wouldn't actually be available to go out to the dance on a Friday or Saturday night, because the very essence, the very nature of agriculture is that you're not available. It's a 24/7 job, and for a farmer and the wife to get out on a Saturday night would maybe happen once a month rather than instead of once a week, and a lot of other careers. So it's all relevant. The Farmer Dan thing was good. It opened up a whole new audience to country music and to me inevitably. So it was good. It was good, and still is. The Farmer Dan thing is still strong in many areas. Thank God.
Indeed, that's absolutely excellent. Now, the new lineup that you have is yourself, and you're on keyboards, bass, drums, synth, and also vocals. And Stephen Hamilton is on the lead, pedal steel, banjo, fiddle, and also vocals. It's a pretty wide and diverse selection of instrumentation for just two men.
Yeah, well, it's a full sound, and I've always sort of prided myself on sound, and to go out with a two-piece band, but to be able to emulate or come close to the sound of a five-piece band or six-piece band, it's something that gives you a lot of satisfaction that you're able to do that and create that music and create that sound, and of course you're working as a two-piece band. The overheads are lower and the expense to the customer are lower, or the venue are lower, and it works, and we're having a lot of interest in the two-piece. A lot of people making inquiries even now with the lockdown on. They're planning ahead and they're making inquiries about what we're going to be doing, and then the other side of our thing is that we're also able to back other singers as well, which is another string to the bow. So if we're doing a concert or something like that, or an event where there's 2 or 3 other singers on it that don't have a band as such, they can be brought in. We can have their stuff off, and we can provide the music for them as well. So it's a pretty wide scope.
Indeed.
For a two-piece.
Indeed, it is, and of course, the one thing is you also have you can extend out to 3, 4, or 5-piece, as is the case requires.
Yeah, we can do. Yeah, we can. In fact, we're doing that down in Fermanagh now in July. We're doing a big drive-in event. It's a weekend of drive-ins, and we're there, I think, on the Saturday night, and it's going to be myself and Stephen and a bass player that played in my band for many years, Eugene Logue, and also Barry Doyle going to be drumming. So we're teaming up then for that particular gig. So those options are there. If people want to get out in that way.
Well, that's absolutely excellent. I think you've done some drive-in shows already, Barry.
Yeah, we've been involved in some of that stuff, and we're doing virtual concerts as well. We're doing some stuff with Big O up in Warren Point and Harborside Radio, and we're doing a virtual concert every second Sunday. So we're actually on this Sunday coming, and maybe you'll get a chance to tune in or send us a message, and we'll try to read it out and say hello to you or whatever. So who's on with us this week? T.R. Dallas, Tony Kerr, and John Malloy from the west of Ireland. So they're the 3 guests this week. So there's ourselves and 3 guests each concert.
Right, excellent. And to get that, Barry, how do you get that?
Well, if you go onto the Harborside Radio Facebook page, you can tune into it.
Okay.
Or you can go on to harborsideradio.com or whatever,
Right, excellent stuff. Excellent. It must be, when the time is in it, it must be nice to be able to get out and do stuff, do things like that, live concert, and also the drive-in work.
Yeah, well, there's permits here that you're allowed to travel. I know a lot of those restrictions are now lifted, but you still have to limit your numbers, and you have to have a pass that if you're doing TV work or recording work that you're okay to do that, But even in that environment, although myself and Stephen and the singer don't be wearing a mask, we are socially distanced, and we keep ahead of the regulations in that terms. But everybody else in the room behind the cameras, they're all wearing their masks, and of course the numbers are limited. There's only the skeleton crew that's needed to produce the show as such. So all that you have to be aware of all that stuff, and you have to be on top of it. And if you're not, you're in breach. So you just have to dot all the A's and cross all the T's, as we talk about.
Indeed so. That's the way it is. But you have. I bet you can't sort of wait to get to be able to get out on the road again.
Oh, I can't wait. It's what is it now? I stopped counting. It must be 15 or 16 months, and I actually had the COVID myself and had a rough old time of it and stuff. And now I'm sort of getting back to myself, and I'm just chopping at the bit of a new van bought this week, and we're getting it sorted out and getting seats and stuff into it, and just mad to get at it. And we've a few inquiries there about stuff happening in England, weddings and one thing and another, and there's another one on there about a private party up in Yorkshire as well. And there's different stuff, like we're doing the Phil Mac weekend there at Thorsley Hall in July. I'm really, really looking forward to that. It's a fabulous venue, and really looking forward to getting away and meeting a few people within the music business, meeting a few friends, meeting the people that support those events. We've got friendly with a lot of them, and we know a lot of them first name terms and whatever, and it'll be great to get back and start to see people, because that's what I missed most about the music. It wasn't so much the playing, it was the social aspect of the music business that I missed. And it's only when you're taken away from it that you realise how much that actually means to an artist.
Indeed so, yes.
And when you're working pre-lockdown or pre-COVID, when you're working every night or working every Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, whatever you were doing, you're running from one gig to the next, and the next week it was the same thing, and you weren't taking the time to, you weren't spending the time that probably you should have been spending with certain individuals or whatever, So it's throwing a different light on it for a lot of musicians and a lot of singers and stuff, and I think it'll be a nicer place to be when we get back to it.
Indeed so, definitely, and well done on everything that you've done, even in the lockdown, because you released a couple of songs. I mean, cracking one which you had was the new "Going Out" is "Staying In."
That's right. Yeah, I released that song, and every station in the country was playing it. Well, BBC Radio Ulster didn't play it, but you're listening, that's another story. But every other station, every station in the country was playing it, and it got a lot of coverage on the Spotlight TV channels as well, and newspapers were writing about it. And and it was a great song. It's a topical song. I didn't write it. It was Joe Kelly and Barry wrote it, and it was a great song, and it fitted the mood and it fitted the moment, and it did very well for me, I have to say.
Indeed, absolutely cracking one, I'll have to say. And
and then I've a new album sitting there recorded that I did during the lockdown, and some great stuff on it, and I had time to spend on it and time to pay attention to it, and there's a lovely production on it, and there's some great songs on it as well, and when the time's right, we'll bring it out, and hopefully people will like it, they'll enjoy it, and
That's excellent. You're releasing that. You're releasing that after when all of the lockdown is over.
Aye, well, there's no point in letting it out now, because the market traders and the shops and stuff can't really get access to it, and they can't get a turn on it and all the rest. So a lot of the recording artists are thinking that way as well. Just hold back and give the market traders and stuff that have been out of business for long, give them a turn as well when the time comes and the time's right.
Indeed. So yeah, most artists really are taking out at the moment singles rather than albums.
Aye, yeah, a lot of singles coming out. Yeah.
Indeed, great to see you. Barry, listen, well done on everything, on the recording, and good luck with the new band to yourself and Stephen. And listen, I'm glad you've recovered from the dreaded COVID. And listen, stay to yourself and your family. Stay safe and stay well. And listen, I'm looking forward to catching you on stage as soon as it's safe to do so.
Hi, thanks very much, Jay. Just before we go, I want to say hello to Sean Wallace. He's an old friend of yours. He remembers you, so I was chatting to him this evening. I was telling him that I was on chatting, and he says, I'm going to tune into that. I haven't heard that man in years, so he's tuned in there listening to you, so we'll say hello to him as well.
Great stuff. Hello to Sean, indeed, from the good old Radio Star days. Thank you, indeed.
Yep.
Barry, listen, lovely to chat to you.
Thanks a million, Jay.